Okay, welcome everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today on the School Corner, we have Rob Gilmore here from Algonquin Lakeshore Catholic District School Board. I'm your host, James from Edvisor. And yeah, we're really excited to talk to Rob and learn a little bit more about their district and just go over, how everything has been handled and going on right now in the pandemic and what they can look for in 2021. So Rob, welcome, and yeah,
Thank you.
glad to have you. And yeah, why don't you start off by a quick introduction and tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience in international education.
Sure, great. Thanks, James. Yeah, Rob Gilmore. So I'm the principal for the International Education Program with the Algonquin Lakeshore School Board in Ontario. So we're about an hour outside of Toronto. I'm married. I have married my high school sweetheart. I have two daughters. Alexandra's 23, and she's currently studying in Wales.
Mhm.
So I know what it's like to be an international parent. I also have a daughter, Daniela, who's 21, and she studied in Australia last year. So I certainly understand from a parent's perspective what it's like to have international students and international students during a time of pandemic, which is adds on in terms of worry, for your kids overseas.
Of course.
I was born and raised in Kingston. I went to Queen's University, that's here in Kingston. I did a Master's of Public Administration. Um, and I've been a homestay parent for 7 years. So once again, I understand from a parent's point of view what it's like. And I think because of my experience, I've really come to take kind of the students' side of things. So I really see things through the student lens and realize that, our international students, they're a long ways from home at a young age. And certainly this is and should be an experience of a lifetime for them. And I see it's my job and our program's job to help make that happen so that it's beyond just coming to school at another country. It's really experiencing the culture, experience the life, what it's like to be in Canada. So yeah, like I said, we're excited and looking forward to hosting students from around the world.
Amazing. Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about Algonquin. Oh, I hear a little bit of an echo there. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the program as well. Maybe the vicinity, how close you are maybe to Toronto if people don't know.
Yeah,
So a lot of people might just recognize Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal.
yeah.
So yeah, talk a little bit about location, your program. Yeah, some of these points.
Yeah, sure. So the Algonquin International Program's been around since 2000, the year 2000. So it's 21 years. It used to be a fairly large program. Now we're down to around 25 to 30 students a year, but we're looking to grow that. Although we
Mhm.
don't want it to grow too large because we like the real personal contact we have with our students and with our agents and with our parents.
Mhm.
So we do want it to get larger, but at the same time, we want to keep that that small school feel that we can really kind of personalize the experience for the students that come here.
Mhm.
So our board's located, like I said, an hour east of Toronto.
Mhm.
We're kind of right in between Toronto and Montreal. So we're about 2 hours from Montreal, an hour and a half from Ottawa, an hour outside of Toronto. So we're kind of surrounded by the three big kind of Ontario and Quebec cities. Students can fly into any of those airports. We can accommodate that quite easily. Um, and like I said, right now, a lot of our students we get are kind of from Spain and Germany, with a couple from China and Japan. So we're certainly looking at interested in expanding that
Sure.
to Mexico, South America, Brazil, Asia,
Yeah.
other countries kind of around the world. We have 5 high schools located in 3 cities. So we have 2 high schools in Kingston, which would be the largest center, around 165,000 people, It hosts Queen's University, St. Lawrence College. It's known as a real foodie city. So it actually has the largest number of restaurants per capita than any other city in Canada. So lots of places to eat here. So lots of good food. Also, we have 2 high schools in Belleville, which is around 60,000 people, a little bit smaller. It hosts Loyalist College. And then Trenton would be our smallest city, which is about 35,000 people, and it's located closest to Toronto. Like I said, maybe just a maximum hour's drive outside of Toronto to Trenton. So our student ratios are small. You look at 25, 30 international students, 5 high schools.
Yeah.
So the number of international students in each high school is fairly small, which is good.
Yeah.
So students are really kind of immersed in Canadian life. They're forced to speak English because there's not a lot of other, Spanish or German or speaking other students in the school. So it really forces them to improve their English skills. And with those size of Canadian cities, they're very safe. We have, our area is probably one of the lowest COVID rates in Ontario. Very low COVID rates, very safe communities. And we kind of call ourselves the real Canadian experience. When we talk to some of our students that we've had in the past and ask them, why did you choose to come to us rather than going to Toronto or Vancouver or even Ottawa? The student replied, well, I wanted the real Canadian experience. I didn't want to be a big city with lots of international students and lots of people from all over the world and very crowded and big buildings and lots of cement. I wanted to be somewhere where I was close to nature and could really experience life as it is in Canada, and lots of things to do outside, but still have all the amenities. So, I mean, we have theaters and good shopping and good restaurants and everything that you would want in a big city, but we have it in a small city. Students get free bus passes so they can get around the city quite easily. And so those are things that they really like. We manage our own homestay. So I know that's always important for agents, that we manage our own homestay. The students we accept generally are from grades 9 to 12. So our high schools are grades 9 to 12. One thing we kind of pride ourselves on as well is under 24-hour response time to any questions that an agent may have. Usually respond within a couple of hours, of course, depending on the time difference. If it's overnight, not so quick. But we pride ourselves on that, on the flexibility that we offer for agents. And a new thing that we've started for this September is an international student buddy program. So international students paired up with a Canadian student, they actually will have them communicate with each other in August. So before the international student even gets on the plane, they'll have a conversation with this student and kind of get their questions answered, from a peer. Of course, we can answer the questions and that, but sometimes they like to talk to someone their own age that's to see about, things to do and places to go here in town. So that's always, we think that's going to be very good.
I think,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying there's really something to be said about kind of a smaller district. Like I grew up in a very small district in Canada, in middle of British Columbia, basically. And, when we had international students, like it's a rarity, right? So, whoa, hey, did you see the new guy from Germany? Right. And everybody knows him within the first 2 days, and everybody wants to talk to him and, get to know him. And so it's such a cool experience, right? Because they almost become a little bit instantly popular, right? And because everybody's just like, wow, I want to learn about their culture. I want to talk to them, and I think it's a really great experience.
And then there's lots of extracurriculars. There's lots of activities to do, and we kind of really push and encourage our international students to participate in those things. And we pretty much have 100% of our students will participate in, whether or not it's a team or a club or a play or, the band or something, because again, that just opens up more doors in terms of social interactions and
Yeah.
improving their English. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And and so I always like to kind of ask, maybe there's some sort of student story or success story you might have in mind, that you might want to share as well. I think that's always interesting to hear.
Sure. I mean, there's lots of students. It's hard to pick, but fond memories of Pepe. He was a student from Spain, from just outside Madrid. Uh, Loved soccer, passionate about soccer, football. Uh, you know, um, his favorite team, is of course is Madrid, and yeah, so he came a couple of years ago. He played soccer in the community. So in Canada, of course, we have lots of snow in the wintertime, but he played indoor soccer for a community league. So he played indoor soccer. He then went on and played for the school soccer team. He was actually awarded the coaches award. So he won the coaches award for the team. Uh, Very passionate player. A great student. He was only here for the 1 year. But he went home. He's at university now in Madrid. Actually, my wife and I went over a couple of years ago and saw him. Spent time with his family.
Cool.
It was a really fantastic experience, and that's what I'm talking about in terms of the small program, right? You get to know people, you get to know their families. Um, you know, so there's one example. Pedro, another student from Brazil, who came here. His big dream was he is a New England's Patriots fan. In Brazil they don't have American football, or not much of it, and so it was his dream to play American football. And so we managed to arrange for him to go out. It was a community team, so he went out, had the gear on, he got the T-shirt, he got the jersey, he practiced with the team. He had an amazing experience and something he'll never forget.
Right.
And then one other, Monse, a student from Mexico, again came here, did really well, kind of thrived academically. It was one of those things where I think parents were perhaps a little bit concerned, um, having her come here, but it seemed like she came here and just flourished, did well academically, did well socially, participated in lots of school teams, every season participated in something.
Right.
And then back, and like I said, is doing so well back in her home country now. Still communicates with us, gives us updates every once in a while, but is going on to university and looking to take over her family's business. So there's, like I say, you could go on and on
Sure.
in terms of how well these kids have done and kind of the impact that they've had on us, and hopefully we've had on them as well.
That's right. Well, this is perfect. Yeah, great stories, really personalized experiences for them. Now, just changing the questions or topics slightly. For those agencies out there who might not know or focus on Canada too much, what would you like them to know about the current status of enrolling a student into a high school program in Canada? There are obviously a lot of countries that are still closed off in terms of accepting anybody due to COVID, but Canada is taking some measures, and if those schools are meeting those measures, what are the sort of processes, and is it possible to actually bring a student in during these difficult times?
Yes. So the simple question is yes. All school boards across Canada are all accepting international students. In Ontario, we had to submit to our Ministry of Education kind of a COVID safety plan. And actually, our school district was one of the first to have theirs approved. Um, and it's outlines kind of safety measures that kind of follow the current guidelines. So when students come, they'll have to quarantine for 14 days. We do our quarantining with the homestay. Other boards across Ontario and Canada, some do it with a homestay, some do it in a hotel. But students do have to quarantine. Um, and then they have to follow, with our high schools are open. Our high schools are in class, so it's not online, it's in class. Students do have to wear masks when they're in the school. Extracurriculars have been put on hold for now, and all those other safety protocols have been put in place. But like I said, our schools are all open. Students will have to have a COVID test before they get on their flight. So within 72 hours of boarding their flight, they have to have a negative COVID test. When they get off the plane in Toronto or Montreal or Ottawa, again, they have a COVID test. And then they quarantine for the 14 days. And on day 10, they're given a self-administered COVID test that they'll complete. As long as all of those things are negative, which, knock on wood, luckily they always have been up until now, then they're as part of their homestay and then can participate in all activities as is. Like I said, Canada overall have been, our COVID rates have been fairly low, especially in comparison to other countries in the world. And we continue to take those safety measures to make sure everyone stays safe.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's another good point about, right now sending to kind of rural areas, smaller towns, smaller cities. I mean, yeah, it's much safer, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. And so just to also, I think, leave, we have just, a few more things we'll leave with, but I think just to summarize too, you mentioned, I mean, right now you do work, you do work quite well with, I think, Europe, right? Germany, Spain, and a few others. You mentioned you're also looking to meet new partners, new partner agencies in like Latin America.
Yes.
Any particular countries, markets that you want to talk about that you're interested to grow into in the next couple of years?
Well, definitely Mexico,
Mhm.
Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Brazil. Off the top of my head, those are definitely markets that I know that in the past there's been experience, and we have had the odd student here or there from those countries, and we're certainly looking to grow and expand those markets for sure, definitely. And being a Catholic high school as well, we know that's certainly attraction for a number of those countries. I mean, we actually have one of our high schools is actually the oldest English Catholic high school in Canada.
Really?
Created in 1837, I believe. Is that
right? Wow.
Yeah. So that's definitely an area that we'd like to grow and expand in.
Okay, amazing. And so for any agencies watching this and they want to get a hold of you and maybe set up a call, of course, they can connect with you through Edvisor,
Yes.
send
Yeah.
you a connection request.
Yeah.
Y- Anything else? Yeah, maybe your email, something that you recommend to have
Sure.
contact.
So I mean, if they email international@alcdsb.on.ca,
Mhm.
that's probably an easier way, as well as, like as you mentioned, through Edvisor. Send us a request through Edvisor as well. So both of those methods. Our website is www.studyincanada.network. So our website that has pricing information, has contact information, has videos of past students, a copy of our brochures there. So for an agent, it really has answers most of their questions off that website. And we've designed it that way, so hopefully it really supports our agents.
Good, great. And I think I think we'll probably just leave it there, but just wrap up. I think another nice way to wrap it up is just to, if you were to give, say, an agency a quick 30-second overview of who you guys are, what you represent, something they can take away quickly, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, like we say, our Algonquin Lakeshore International Education Program provides the real Canadian experience for its students with safe communities, high standards of academic programming, and close to nature. Those are kind of the main key things that we can offer all students that come here. We have modern schools, many course options, many activity options, and for the experience of a lifetime, that's what we're looking to provide to our students.
Amazing, Rob. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure, and we learned a lot about your programs and yourself. And yeah, I think this is a really great program. Excited
Great.
to let everybody know.
Thanks, James. Yeah, appreciate
Uh,
it.
okay. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, yeah.